Okay. So today, we are supposed to do pricing actually. All right. Now we have pricing decisions and we have uh, CVP, traditional management accounting. But I still feel like I will go for the pricing decision first. All right. Now for the pricing decision, hello, we are to do all of this together today. I hope we are together. Please, we are to have this class together today. So let's have a discussion. It's not our first time of dealing with performance management. I'm sure many of us did cost accounting, we have performance management and the rest of them. So yeah, we should be able to talk about some pricing decisions as well and what price is about. All right. I hope we are together, please.
Yes, sir. We are
So
with you.
yeah. So what do we understand by a price? What do you understand by a price? And what are pricing decisions? So at first, you need to understand that in this topic, hold on, sir. In this topic, we have prices, we have quality, we have elasticity of demand, right? We have supply, demand and supply. We have curve, demand curve. We have profit maximization, right? Where we have the total cost, the variable cost, the marginal cost, right? Aha. So all those things that have to do with demand, supply, elasticity, right? How to determine the price of a product, all right? And under how to determine the price of a product is where we have our fixed price, right? We have the markup, the margin, we have other things like market skimming, prices, yeah, things like that are the things we are to discuss under this pricing decision. All right. So, what do we understand by a price? What do we understand by price? And what are the decisions we make when we are? What are the decisions or what are those conditions we consider when we are making a price? Yes, anyone, please. Yes,
Okay.
anyone.
In human language, we could say price is the value value by a buyer given to a seller in exchange for goods and services.
Okay. Value by a buyer to a seller. Yes, any other person? A price.
Okay, so I would say that the value you place on a good, so
Mhm.
that you have maybe you intend to exchange with your with your buyer. So it's a value you place on the goods.
Okay. Yeah. The value of
I
goods
want
and
to, I want to
services.
try.
Okay. Yeah, please go ahead.
A price is the money that we pay to get a product or services.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, price an amount given to a particular commodity.
Sorry, can barely
Price
hear you.
price is an amount given to a particular commodity.
Yeah. An amount of a particular commodity. Now, price can be monetary, right? It can be non-monetary value as well. Am I right, please? Let's see ourselves here, right? Price can be a monetary value and it can also be a non-monetary value. So usually a price can be a consideration, right? Price can be proceeds or an expected value in exchange for another product, right? Consideration in exchange for another product. I don't know if I'm making a sense here. Are we there, please?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
a price. Now, a price can be things we put, things we pay in order to exchange goods and services. Consideration involved in exchange of goods and services, right? So now, when we have a price, how do we determine a price? You agree with me that there are some factors we consider when we are choosing the price of a commodity. I don't know if that makes a sense. There are some factors we consider when choosing a commodity, and these factors are the factors are pricing decisions. For us to determine the price of a commodity, we choose some certain we consider some certain things, and those things are pricing decisions. Those are the decisions we consider before we determine the price of the commodity. Are we together? So yeah, we have price to be that. Now, generally speaking, excuse me, please. So generally speaking, right, a price is that which we put into a commodity. Price for the exchange, a consideration for an exchange of a commodity. All right. Now, you can't exchange a commodity even if it is what do we call this? Barter system. Remember a barter system, right? Remember a
Yeah,
barter system? Yeah. So even in a barter system, what you pay in exchange for another product is a price, right? So yeah, now pricing decisions is very, very important in management, right? And that's because they need to look at the cost price and then look at the profit element in order to get the selling price of the product. All right. Because yes, as a cost accountant or for cost itself, right? For management accounting deals with information that enables you to plan, to control, and to make decisions. Am I right, please? Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Aha. So that's it. Now, in this pricing decision, uh, wait. So that's where we now have all forms of, okay, when there's a change in price of goods and services as a result of one thing or the other, all of these are what we have under our pricing decision. Now, let's go into the material proper and we look at uh, the factors that will influence price, the factors, the nature of price, and all of that. All right. So, okay. Oh, let me share my screen now. Let me bring the material to us now. Now, for pricing decisions, right? Now, pricing decisions are very important because they affect the volume of sales demand, right? Now, when you record a particular price for a commodity, it will affect the demand of that commodity. It will affect what customers will buy. Don't forget the general rule of price, whereby the general rule of demand, whereby the higher the price, the lower the quantity demanded. Am I right? That's the elasticity of demand. And the lower the price, the higher the quantity demanded. Now, all those things are still things that will affect us, right? So your price will determine the quantity that will be demanded by your customers. And it also determine the profit that will be earned on each product, on each unit of a product. All right. So that's it. Now, this price that we have, right? We can have a long-term pricing whereby companies will decide the general price level of a commodity, right? Companies will determine the general price level of a commodity. Now we have those people who make prices and we have the people who accept price. Those who are price makers are the dominants. They are the ones who set the price of a commodity by themselves. They are the jagabans. We have them all around, right? They have the power. They have the power to choose the price of their commodity. They can determine, they can say that, they can insist that no, I am not selling this at this price. All right. So that's it. Now, we also have the price takers. Now, the price takers are small firms, right? These ones, they cannot make a price. They can only accept the market price. Okay, whatever the market says is what they accept. Are we there, please? So whatever the market says, we determine their price as well. So that's what we have on price makers and price takers. Now, we also have short-time pricing. Short-term pricing has to do with temporary pricing reduction. For instance, now the price of our crude oil is short-time, is short-term, and that's why Dangote can wake up one day and tell us that the price of crude oil has increased or reduced. And the same thing, other filling stations too can do their own, right? Because they don't determine the price, it is short term. The price of crude oil is not determined by Dangote. I hope you all understand that. Dangote is not the one increasing or decreasing the price. He takes the price because he can't fix it. So whatever the international market says, that's it. This is okay, this is skills level. If it was professional here, I have a question for you. Now, so that's why he can't just decide that he's choosing a particular price. And that's it. So temporary price reduction, yes, those ones are very temporarily, and that's why price of crude oil, petroleum, can change 3 times in a week. And of course, also we have the low pricing to win contracts. This low pricing, we call them cost leaders. So they are cost leaders. They will reduce the cost of production. I mean, they will reduce the what is it called? They will reduce the cost of production. They will reduce their selling price. Right? They will reduce their selling price so that they can win a particular contract. Then also we have those people who are promotional, who are into promotional pricing. Now this promotional pricing is that they give you a price just for promotion, adverts to increase for marketing strategy. That person can make this. That person can make this. Who is that person? Thank you, sir.
Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
So those are price takers, and that's a short-term pricing decision. All right. Now we have demand and supply. Now demand has two attributes before it becomes demand. We have wishes, we have desires, we have demand. Right? Now, demand is what you are willing, which is your wish now, or your desire, right? What you are willing to buy at a given price, right? Now, price must be involved. Your will must be involved. Then for it to be a demand, there must also be ability. So demand is what you are willing and able to buy at a given price. Now, if it is only a will without the ability to buy, then that's just a wish. All right. Now, when you have the ability to buy it, then it becomes demand. Now, the higher the price, the lower the quantity demanded. That's the general law of demand. And the lower the price, the higher the quantity that will be demanded. Now, supply is that quantity that producers are willing and able to also sell. Right? Willing and able to sell at a given price. Now, supply has a different direction. It is opposite, right? Now, supply is that the higher the price, the higher the quantity that will be supplied. The lower the price, the lower the quantity that will be supplied. Do you understand? Now, don't forget we have abnormal demand. I'm sure they've told us that one in our economics. Now, you can also have an abnormal demand, whereby the higher the price, the higher the quantity that will be demanded. Am I right? Am I right? Don't worry, ICANN is not.
Yes, you're right.
Don't worry, ICANN is not asking you for any abnormal demand or abnormal supply. So that's it. Now, for demand and supply, that's what we have there. They have opposite directions. Now, we have equilibrium price. Okay, so this is what we'll do. I think when it is 6:45, we allow 15 minutes for people to go and break and pray. Then we'll come back at exactly 7 o'clock. Those who are observing them, please. What time is the break time? What time is the breaking time? Those who are there, please. Do you have anyone?
As you wish, oh, you can break by 12, 1, 3, 6, as you wish.
Okay. I hope those who are to break at 6 have done that. Please, like I said earlier, I apologize for the inconveniences. Now, so when it is 6:45, of course, we'll go for our prayers. Now, we have equilibrium price. Equilibrium price is where your demand is equal to your supply. Where demand is equal to supply. Now, if demand exceeds supply, then that means the prices will increase. When your demand, people are asking for more than you have, then of course you will increase your price sharply. Right? That's it. And when supply is too much than demand, then the price will fall. So that's it. Now, we have the monopoly pricing. Right? Now, the monopoly pricing is that in a monopoly market, we have only one person in the market, right? And here, the firm will set the price. Demand curve is always downward sloping. And of course, increase in price will fall or will reduce the price, the demand, the quantity that will be demanded. The higher the price, the lower the quantity that will be demanded, of course. So which means they follow a law of demand also in the monopoly market, even though you are the only one there, right? Do we have any monopoly market in Nigeria? Do we have any monopoly market in Nigeria?
Dangote.
Dangote, which of his products?
That you have Dangote cement, I guess.
No.
Oh,
Dangote
it's
is not
very
the only cement we have.
monopolistic.
Bois Cement, Elephant Cement, Lafarge.
You can call all those names, but Dangote is practically the one monopolizing everything.
No, Dangote
Those
is
ones
not
are just
monopolizing
names.
it. When we
If
say
you want to buy cement, which one do you know?
No. Dangote is not monopolizing it. Dangote is not monopolizing. At least my father built a house, and throughout, from the beginning to the end, whenever you Dangote cement, that one I'm very sure. So that's it. Right now, the thing is this: Dangote is not the only one selling cement. We still have one person who has name like Dangote in that cement factory, cement industry, which is Rabiu. Right? And Rabiu at the summer too. That one too has has a stake like that. Now, I don't think we really have a monopoly market. The only thing you can say we have a monopoly market currently, which is not completely monopoly, is Dangote Refinery. But I can tell you that we have plenty. In fact, we have more than 20 refineries in Nigeria that are functioning. Are you aware? Are you aware? Is anyone aware?
I'm not aware. The only one we hear about is Dangote. The only one I hear about is
The
Dangote.
only reason you hear about Dangote is because Dangote is the only refinery that produces petrol. It's the only refinery that produces petrol in Nigeria. So that's why you will hear about his own refinery. But I have so many other refineries in Nigeria. So many, even in the southeast. Yes, so many refineries are in Nigeria. But that's that. Now, we have pricing in competitive markets. All right. So firms match competitors' prices, of course. In a competitive market where you have competitors, firms would always want to match the price of their competitors. And then, of course, they use short-term tactics like they give out discounts, they give out credit terms, sell on credit, and they do promotions, right? And what's that promotion? Adverts, what do they call this? Black Friday, buy one, get one free, all those things. Yeah, they do that. So that's a short-term tactic. Then also, we have long run, whereby selling price would exceed average cost in the long run. All right, selling price must exceed average cost. Now, those things that will now determine your cost, that will determine your price or your cost, the cost of your product. All right, yeah, when you are producing, those things that will determine your cost are, you have the raw material, cost of raw materials, right? Yeah, which is the direct cost. Inflation is an increase in the general price level of goods and services. Am I right? Am I right, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Then also we have exchange rate for those who are importing their material input or their production input. Yes, exchange rate would affect them. Then of course we have the wage rate, the rate at which you pay your laborers, the labor, right? And also we have the quality level. Quality level has to do with quality of production. Yeah, of course. So the quality will determine the price of the product as well. That is, the higher quality will result to a higher cost. All right, and that's it. Now we have income of customers. So for income, when customers' income increases, their demand also increases. Am I right? It is when you start earning more, you don't realize that meat is not really good for my body. I think I'll go for chicken. The doctor advised me to stop eating beef. So I should go for chicken and assorted meat. And that's because you have money now. So that's it. Once your income increases, then your demand also increases. There's so many people that once their income increases here, the first thing they want to do is also to upgrade their phones. Yeah, that's it. It's normal, right? Yeah, it's normal and it is rational. So that's it. Now, but when income reduces, then demand also reduces and price also reduces. Now we have product life cycle. Product life cycle. Are we there? Are we there, please?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, for a product life cycle, we are looking at the life cycle of a product from introduction, right, to withdrawal. From introduction to withdrawal. The cost of a product is a product life cycle, right? Now, this product life cycle, at the introductory stage, there are some costs we incur. I think I have this thing somewhere also. Now, at the introductory stage, there are some costs you incur, a lot, all right? And then as you are growing, so we have different stages. When we say product life cycle, it means from the from introduction of that product to the market up to withdrawal, right? So what are those stages? The life cycle. We have the first one to the introduction. We have growth, right? We have maturity. We have a decline stage. We have withdrawal stage. Yeah, we have withdrawal stage as well. Some textbooks is called it 5, some we call it 6. Now for the introduction stage is that you will spend more on some things. Now when you start, let's look at this together. When you start a business, what are the things you spend on more? All right. So this is what we'll do. Look, take a case study of a business. You have 15-minute break. Take it starting from now. Take a case study of a business, right? What are the things you spend more when you're starting a business, right? Take a case study of an existing business and look at when the business started. What are those things they will spend more on? And what are the things they will spend less on? Right? What are the attributes at the introductory stage? What happens to your revenue, your sales, your profit, your cost, those things? Let's look at them, all right? Now, we'll continue from here in our next session, which is at 7 p.m. I'll see you all at 7 p.m. Bye-bye, everyone.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So now we're talking about a product life cycle, right? Now, have we gotten any projects, any business? Do we have anyone with the project life cycle at the introduction stage? What are the costs you incur at the an introduction stage? Someone should give us an example of that business and the costs incurred and other attributes. We can discuss all the other attributes together. But what are the costs incurred at an introduction stage? When you want to newly introduce a product to the market, what are the costs? Now let's discuss. Sorry, I didn't get that.
Research and development.
Okay, for which business? For what type of business, please? Hello, research and development for which business?
Manufacturing business.
Okay, manufacturing business. Yeah, research and development. Yes, which one that one?
Adverts.
Mm-hmm.
Awareness more of adverts at the introduction stage.
Yeah, okay. What else?
Awareness and
Yes,
advertisement. Of course, employment, recruitment of a new staff, and the cost of recruitment too.
Will it be high? Cost of recruitment, will it be high?
And just starting for the fresh, you need to pay to the recruiter to get to a new staff, and then the going forward will now maintain the same amount.
Okay. Yes. What else do we incur? Yes. What else?
Logistics.
Okay. So now the other things that testing costs, training costs. Okay, so those things that are very peculiar to introduction stage is, of course, research and development you will spend to make research, market research, and all of that, right? Then also, you spend on non-current assets. When you're starting a business, you purchase non-current assets. Yes, right? So those are the things. Spend on advertisement, just like what someone said, right? So those are the costs. This, what's this noise now? So that's it. You can't see, no, I'm not sharing anything on the screen. I'm sharing the platform. I'm sharing the what do you call this video? This Google Meet. I'm not sharing any material. We are discussing here, that's why. Now, those are the costs. Now, at this introductory stage, you don't expect to have plenty revenue. Your revenue can be very slow because you don't have customers yet, right? So that's it. Now, which means your revenue will be low, your cost will be very high, right? Setup cost will be very high. Setup cost will be very high. Revenue will be very low, all right? Then profit is low. Am I right, please? Am I right?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, so that's it. Those are the things we experience at the introductory stage. And the next stage we have is the growth stage. Yes? What can you say about the attributes of the growth stage? When a business is growing, what happens?
There will be increase in sales at this stage.
One.
There will be reduction in the marketing compared to what you have at the introduction.
You are still growing, you know.
Yeah, and also increase in profits due to increase in sales, because at that growth stage, sales element tends to be high. So people get to know the products, then it automatically to lead to increase in profits.
Because you are still growing, it means you will not reduce your adverts until you are mature. You will not reduce your adverts. And that's it. Now, setup costs will reduce, right? Non-current assets, capital expenditure would reduce when you are growing. I mean, it's not at zero, but it will reduce. Am I right, please?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
So that's it. What else do we have there? Yes, what else? What else do we have there? Okay, so that's that. Now we have the maturity stage. Maturity is that your sales is balanced. You know what your sales will be for the year. You know it. Even if it will not be an accurate figure, the difference is still within the same range. Right? Your cost is known, constant. Your sales, constant. Your profit, constant. Right? By then, you are not looking for customers again. Customers are not looking for you as well. That's maturity stage. All right? So that's it. Then also, we have a decline stage. Now, at this decline stage, you are withdrawing from the market. Your product is not selling like it used to be. Probably there is a new competitor. Do you understand? Are you there, please?
Yes, we understand.
So probably there is a new competitor. The product is not moving like before again. Things have changed. Things have reduced. All right? And that's what we have there. Now, when this changes, now there are some things sometimes you want to revive the business again. No, my business must not die. Do you understand? So that's it. Now, let's go by what we have here. So for introduction, we have skimming prices to be very high. Penetration price of getting your customers will be very low because right now you're still skimming. Then also for your goods, you have your demand to be increasing. Yeah. Competition is also increasing. And of course, gradually, your selling price will reduce. Your cost price will also reduce because you're now producing in a larger quantity. Right? So since you're now producing at a large quantity, then your prices is now reducing. Don't forget economies of scale. Are we together? Are we together? And anyone differentiate between economies of scale and economies of scope? Anyone? Hello, do we have anyone? Economies of scale and economies of scope.
I'm lost. I don't know where you are.
Ma?
Where we are, I'm lost. So
We are not anywhere. We are still here. Growth. I'm asking if there's any difference between economies of scale and economies of scope.
So what I understand by economics of scale is maybe it's dependent on the more the firm produces, then the lower the cost they are going to sell the product.
The more the firm produces in what respect? Are you talking about the quantity or the number of times or what?
No. The quantity, the number of units produced.
Okay, yeah, that's economies of scale. What about the economies of scope?
For scope is when you have a reduced price, where you manufacture similar goods in large quantity.
Similar goods.
Maybe when you produce goods en mass than when you produce them singly.
No, that's not it.
Okay.
That's the economies of scale.
Economy of scope is, for example, it has to do with the increase in varieties, whereby if company produces bread and decide to produce butter along with it, so there's variety of it using the same name of brand. They are using a variety of products. The same like we said, Dangote produces cement, spaghetti, Maggi, just using the same brand, creating brands of products. That's for scope. Then for scale is per unit cost. When it reduces the per unit cost by increasing the production, numbers of production.
Someone is raising his or her hands. Please go ahead.
Okay, for economics of scope, what I understand is it is always cheaper. Maybe a company is producing bread, but they are also producing sugar. So it's always cheaper for them to produce multiple related products together than to produce it separately, like having an industry for bread separately and an industry for sugar separately. So that's why I understand by economics of scope.
And thank you for your understanding. That's what economies of scope is. When you produce different things, right? Whether related or unrelated. Now you can make use of the same labor for two different companies. Let's take, for instance, I have a company that is into let me use that bread. And I have another company that is into, let's say, production of sugar. But this is the way I'll use my own. For administrative purpose, right? I can use the same accountant for the two companies. I don't know if I'm right. Instead of having one accountant here, another accountant there. Are you there? Are we there?
Yes, sir. We are here.
Yeah.
We are getting.
So I can use the same accountant. Now, by using the same accountant, I'll be paying that accountant the same amount. Sometimes I can just increase it marginally. Let's say add 100,000 to it, and I'll tell you that, okay, you're managing this company for us, right? Now, if you're managing this company for us, how about you look into the account of this other company? Why I had 100,000, 200,000 to your salary? You don't have to do any other thing. It's just for you to have additional responsibility. Not like you're going to another office or something. No. Of course, we will jump at it, right? Am I right?
Yes.
So that's economies of scope. When you can combine two or more businesses together, your cost, total production cost would reduce. All right, so that's it. All right, now that's it. Now let's go to maturity. I hope we can proceed.
Please, sorry, I have a slight question. I don't know, from the way we talked about economies of scope, is as if we're focusing more on the is it maybe like the manpower used in producing those goods? I don't know, that's how it's sounding more to me. We're not talking more about the products now we're producing. Is it more like the available, well, maybe the manpower used to produce those goods? That is where the economy of scope comes in.
It doesn't have to be labor alone. It can also be in material. Let me take another instance. I am producing bread, right? I'm also producing cake and other chops, snacks, right? Now, the sugar I will use for bread, I can use that same sugar for my cake, which means when I'm buying sugar, I'm not just buying for bread. If I'm using 1 bag of sugar for bread in a week, I can increase it to 2 bags of sugar in a week for my bread, cake, and other things. Now, for that bread, for that sugar, the cost of transportation, whereby every week they send 1 bag to me. This time around, I can buy 2 bags, and I'll still spend 1 cost of delivery. Do you understand? I can still spend on 1 cost of delivery. That is for material. So the material itself, I can buy in bulk, a larger quantity, to take care of every business I have. Instead of buying 1 for this one, whereby the bread production site, they're buying their own sugar. For cakes, they're buying their own sugar. This one, I can buy all of them at once and buy in bulk, lower quantity. Are you there?
Yes, please.
So that's it. Shall we proceed now?
Yes, we can, please.
Okay. Now, we have the maturity stage where we said your demand, that's your sales, right? Your demand is now constant and it is stabilized. Your price competition, of course, will always increase. Product differentiation. What is product differentiation? Anyone? What's product differentiation?
Producing one's product in a different way.
Sorry? What do you say? I didn't hear that. Hello, what is differentiation? Nobody? Nobody? Okay. So I
Can we
mentioned
say
cost leader.
branding of business?
Sorry?
Yes, sir. Can we, when you say product differentiation, can we say branding of business? For instance, when you have a competitor, for your business to stand out, you create this. Okay, now we have different noodles in the market, but you can find out that Indomie is still taking a deal because it's branded, and almost all the children prefer Indomie to other noodles. So probably the differentiation is the kind of what the attractive movement that brings the product into the market.
So product differentiation is making your product exceptional in the market. That is, whether you sell at a lower price or not, people will buy you. All right? So that's it. Are we there? So that is product differentiation. Now, product differentiation can be used at an maturity stage. You differentiate your product in the sense that anyone who wants to buy any products, you always distinguish yours from others. That's product differentiation. And also we can have a demand fall. A fall in the price of goods and services under the decline. And when we get to the decline stage, your cost, your selling price will reduce, demand will reduce, and gradually you are preparing to leave the market, right? So you don't have any price. I mean, you don't have more products, lower customers, and all of that. Probably the competitors are taking over. Are we there? So that's what we have there. Now, we have quality. Quality means higher real. Quality means what? Quality is what you look for in a product, a value you place on the product, right? And of course, higher quality means higher price. Am I right? Higher quality means higher price, right? And perceived quality branding can also lead to higher price. When you brand your product, when you use more product design, the product design is the branding now. It can lead to higher price. You can sell your product just because you changed the nylon on it. Do you know how many businesses, how many products did that to us? And the only thing they changed was their nylon. Do you know how many? Can anyone think of a product that they only rebranded? Some of them only changed their nylon. Some of them changed their taste. Does anyone have an example of that? None? Huh? Is anyone there? Okay. So, okay, let's leave that then. Now for branding, when you increase your branding, when you increase the quality of your branding, then it can lead to higher price. And customers can pay premium for brand reputation. Yes, you can pay premium for brand reputation. Now, there are other factors that affect prices, right? That influence the price of your product. When there is a substitute goods, it means you can't really raise your price, right? Now, but I know of a product, I'm not asking you for example now. I know of a product that the competitor reduced their price. They were giving similar taste. It was a substitute goods, but that company did not change their own price. I know of that one. Now, when you have a substitute goods, of course, you'll be sure you are not raising your price to the extent that it will be too obvious that it will be easy for customers to switch to another cheaper product. Also, when you have a complementary goods are those goods that when you buy one, you want to buy the second one with it. When you buy one, you want to buy the other one as well. And then when we're in the economics class, they will say bread and butter. As you're buying bread, you're buying butter. Right? So that's, yeah. Complementary goods are also there. And also you have fashion and taste. Yeah. The fashion of people, their taste will determine what they consume. For instance, now, what they will sell at Gwagwalada or at Ikeja, what they will sell at 3,000 naira. If you go to VI, you can find it there at 7,000 naira. Because of the taste of the people in that environment, the fashion of the people there is different, right? Then also, people at Gwagwalada and people at Maitama, they can be very different as well. Now, advertising can also increase your price. There's one product I will never forget in my life. That the only thing this product did to get the market is advertising. That's Mr. Biggs. Mr. Biggs advertised in every channel. All of us coming back from school in the afternoon then. Once we get back home, as you are watching Teletubbies or all those cartoons, you are seeing Mr. Biggs in between. Right? So that's it. Now, advertising can increase your price. Marketing strategy can also increase your price. Marketing of your products can increase the price of the product. Right? The pricing strategy can also do it. All right? So that's it. Now, we have price elasticity of demand. Now, price elasticity means that the degree of should I speak the English first? Okay, let me read it out first before I explain. The degree of responsiveness of demand to changes in price. That is, how do you personally, how do you respond to the changes in price of a particular commodity? Personally, right? There are so many products that I stopped buying because the price changed ridiculously. To me, personally, and I'll give you an example. I stopped using DSTV, is it not to 2 years now? Or 1 year? Either 1 or 2 years. I stopped using DSTV in the last 1 year, if not 2. In the last 2 years, I stopped using DSTV. Why? Because they upgraded my package without informing me. And not the first upgrade, actually. The first upgrade, I did not mind. The second upgrade, I did not mind. Now, the moment they took my package to 30,000, and I sat down one day that, what are you guys even showing? That I'll be subscribing with 30,000. And that day was the day I decided that I was not going to use DSTV again. Till today, my decoder is still at home. In fact, I've packed it. My decoder is somewhere in my room. My dish is somewhere in my room. I'm not using it again. Do you understand? So that's it. Now, how do you respond to changes? And I will tell you that there are so many people who responded the same way I did. Do you understand? So if you increase your price by 5% and 7% of your customers reacted to the product, then that means that thing is elastic. if you reduce, I mean, if you increase your price by 5% and only 2% reacted to it, then that means it is inelastic. If you reduce it by 5% and customers also responded to it, 5% of customers also responded to it, then that is unit elastic. Are we together, please?
So come again.
I'm saying that if you increase your price, let's say by 5%, and 5% of your customers also reacted to it, that is the same proportion. I mean, 5% increase, 5% increase from customers as well, or 5% reduction from customers as well. The same percentage, that is unit elastic. 5 divided by 5 is 1, so it's unit elastic. If you increase your price by 5% and 10% of your customers stopped using your products, 10% as against 5% increase, that means it is elastic. But if you increase it by 5% and just 2% reacted to it, that means it's insignificant, right? That means it is inelastic. Are we together? Huh?
Yes, please.
So that's it. Now, so the formula for price elasticity of demand is that change in quantity demanded divided by the change in price, right? Change in quantity demanded divided by change in price. So if your percentage is greater than 1, then it is elastic. If it is less than 1, it is inelastic. But if it is 1, then it is what? Unit elastic. So that is that. Now, we have significance of elasticity of demand. If demand is elastic, that means increase in price will reduce revenue. Once you increase the price, then it means your demand will fall. And once your demand falls, it means that your revenue too will fall. All right? Now, if your price reduces, then your revenue increases. That's it. But if it is inelastic, if you increase the price, your revenue will still increase. If you reduce the price, your revenue will reduce. Are we there? So that is it. Now, elasticity and pricing decision. For inelastic demand, just like we said, price increase will improve your profit. If you look at it, that this is a product that even if I increase the price, many customers will still stay with me. For instance, let me give you an example of that. Coca-Cola. Are we together? That person can mute, please. That person can mute, please. Are we there? Are we there?
Yes, please.
Okay. Now, for your elastic product, it means that if you increase your price, many of your customers will leave you. That's what elastic demand means. If you increase your price, many of your customers will leave you. All right. So in a situation like that, if it is an elastic demand, then if you reduce your price, that means you will increase your profit, you increase your revenue, and of course your profit. But the risk of price wars, there is a risk of price war in elastic markets. There is a risk of price war in elastic market. That is, everybody wants to change their price. They want to increase or reduce their price because so that they can get a customer. So everyone wants to reduce their price, and when you are trying to reduce their price, it can lead you to reduce the quality of your product as well. All right. So that's it. Any question, please? Now we have a demand and cost function, and we have a demand curve. So for a straight line demand equation, we have our price to be equal to A minus BQ, right? Your A is the price when quantity is 0. Your B is the slope. Have you heard of slope before? Have you heard of slope before?
No, sir.
How can you say no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You've done high and low method before now, regression analysis, least square method.
Yes, sir.
So your B is your slope and your Q is the quantity. So that's it. Now, of course, for the demand and cost function, your price equals to A minus BQ. And A is when the price, A is the price when quantity is at 0. What do we mean by that? Fixed costs. That is whether there is quantity, because if Q is 0 here, it means B times 0 is 0, right? So A is a price, a fixed price. All right. So that's it. Now, revenue and marginal cost. Revenue is price times quantity, your sales, right? Price of the goods times the quantity you are selling. Please, am I right? Price times quantity you are selling. Now, your marginal revenue will now be the derivative, dy dx of your revenue. I'm not going into dy dx, so this is PM. It will be the derivative of your revenue. So that's that. Now, where we have costs and marginal cost, your total cost of production, I'm using production now because we are familiar with it. Total cost of production is fixed cost plus variable cost, right? That is direct cost and indirect cost. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Direct cost and indirect cost, which is your fixed cost plus your variable cost. Now, we also have marginal cost. Same way you have marginal revenue, which is your the CDX, that is the TCDX, derivative of your total cost. Derivative of your total cost. Now we have profit maximization. Profit is maximized when your marginal revenue is equal to your marginal cost. Where marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost, that is where your profit is maximized. Now, steps for your profit maximization is that you have to derive your demand curve and also your revenue curve, right? Differentiate the two of them. That is, differentiate your revenue, differentiate your cost to get the marginal revenue and marginal cost. Set your marginal revenue equals to marginal cost. Solve for the quantity that if you sell this quantity, your cost will be equal to, your marginal cost will be equal to your marginal revenue. Substitute that quantity into the demand curve to get your price. I'm not saying more than that. Maybe when we get to questions, we'll solve it. Are we there?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Now, we have for problems with demand equation. I'll soon be ending this class. So we'll end it at incremental cost approach. Now, problems with demand equation. The problem there is, number one, we don't have a reliable data. All right? We don't have a demand data. So lack of demand data, lack of reliable data will be a problem for our demand equation. Then also the assumption that you are using a straight line. What is our straight line? This is it here. Someone will say, where is it? Aha, this is it. where we have our P equals to A minus BQ. That's a straight line demand equation. Now, when we are saying we want to use a straight line assumption, many times it is unrealistic. Right? So that's it. Then also, it is not suitable in a competitive market. So that's it. Now, the incremental cost approach now, if you're not using the straight line method, if you are using an incremental cost approach, your incremental revenue must be greater than your incremental cost. That is, additional revenue you incur, additional revenue earned must be greater than the additional cost incurred. So in your incremental cost approach, you consider your variable cost changes. That is, changes, remember I said additional, right? Now, you consider the changes in your variable cost. You consider your step cost. Your step cost can be a fixed cost. In fact, it is only a fixed cost. Variable cost does not have any step. Your step fixed cost, yes. If there is any overtime, it's the same thing, right? You consider the overtime as well. Now, competitors' reaction. When you increase your sales or you reduce it, what will be the competitors' reaction to it? And what is the capacity you can produce? Right? Are we there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's it. Do we have any question? Any question? In the absence of question, we'll hang our boots here tonight. Let the people who want to go and pray, go and pray. People who want to do whatever, go and do it. I'll see you all in our next class. We continue from here. Good night, everyone. See you all in our next class.